Yasher Koach. You may be seated.
Feels a little premature to be able to say this, but it wasn't so long ago when we were all stuck at home due to a worldwide pandemic. We remember, of course, with exhaustion how different our lives were then. COVID created a major period of disruption in our lives. It wasn't easy. We spent a lot of time being isolated, but in that space, it was a time of personal growth. With more time on our hands, or more time alone, we started to question the values and priorities that were driving our lives. How were we spending our time? With whom? And was it adding joy to our lives? Upon reflection, many people found the idea of returning to their crazy-paced lives unappealing. COVID was a catalyst for major life changes, from eating right and exercising, switching jobs, to even changing religions. This period of reflection deeply impacted the religious community. Individuals sought faith-based answers during a period of instability and impending mortality. Unfortunately, overall, this period of change and introspection did not lead to a major increase in religious observance. In fact, studies have shown that across nearly all faiths, rates of worship attendance have decreased since before COVID. This may be true, but I still find it fascinating that studies have also shown that the experience of the pandemic has strengthened many Americans' religious faith, and not in the way that you might expect. This renewed interest in religion has led to a sharp increase of individuals interested in conversion. During the pandemic, 19% of adults changed their religious identification. Rabbi Sobo and I have found this firsthand with a steep increase of individuals approaching us about conversion. Marshall Weiss wrote a beautiful article about this in the Dayton Jewish Observer, because it wasn't just us here at Temple. All of the congregations in town were experiencing it. And I've seen it since in other Jewish news outlets speaking up about this trend. The liberal Jewish movement in the United Kingdom and the Reform movement here in the United States have both seen a boom in online conversion study. And they note that it is not motivated by marriage, as one might assume. When asked why, many students share that they have considered conversion for many years, but they are finally ready to embrace it more fully. They are drawn to it because Judaism's ideas resonate with them. They love to come to Temple, to feel the warmth of the Jewish community. They feel accepted as they are and are reassured that it is okay to ask questions. They have found that making time for Shabbat uplifts their souls. I'll tell you, it is really, really beautiful to watch someone fall in love with Judaism and to joyfully opt in. Working with conversion students is spiritually refreshing because other than in the classes that I teach, I'll be honest, not a lot of Temple members ask to meet with me in order to wrestle with Judaism's big questions. Now, it isn't that lifelong Jews aren't interested in learning, but we don't see Judaism through the lens of someone exploring it for the first time. In many cases, we perceive the buffet of Jewish wisdom more as comfort food than an explosion of delectable new flavors. But these students and new Jews are reflective, studious, and present. They can't wait for the opportunity to become temple members so that they too can call this place their own, to be able to have a stake in our sacred community. As I work with these students, I can't help but ask the question, what is keeping the rest of us from opting in too? How can all of us look upon our Judaism with that same enthusiasm as these Jews by choice? What is it that they're seeing in it that we aren't? So I decided to do a little research. Over the past year, I have, in various ways, asked some of our most involved congregants to reflect on why they have continued to opt in, to describe what it is they see in Judaism and temple that makes them choose to be a part of our community. In particular, I prodded our board members to share why they stay so involved, why temple remains relevant to them, and why belonging to a synagogue is important. I have been inspired by their answers, and I want to share some of what I have heard them say, anonymously, of course. The most common answer that I found was that being a part of a community is essential. For some, temple is their neighborhood. They have friendships among members. They always feel welcome. For some, it is like a home away from home. They find that involvement in religious school, various groups and committees, and Torah study provide them with opportunities not only to give back, but to connect with others. In these spaces, people ask about and share their individual stories. They appreciate how members lift each other up and help one another through difficult times, as together we all strive to be our highest selves. We are all in this space here because we are seeking something. And for some, it is very powerful to know that others are on that same journey towards spiritual fulfillment as they are. They are not alone in seeking a deeper connection to God. Another common thread is that our traditions offer a strong connection through the generations. For thousands of years, we have come together as a people, seeking the same answers through the same prayers, and sometimes even in the same spaces. Congregational involvement connects them to family experiences and memories of Jewish living that uplift them and renews their sense of responsibility to the world. Temple has helped mold their Jewish identity and their values over the years, and they see their participation linking them to the generations before them, Lador Vador. Another common response that I heard was sacred time, especially observance of Shabbat Menucha, Sabbath rest. Shabbat at temple provides them opportunities for learning and gathering perspective. People feel that when they are here, they learn something new, collecting ideas to think about further. They enjoy hearing others' points of view because on Shabbat they take that time to really consider how things could be looked at differently. It pushes them towards personal growth. Observing Shabbat helps them carve out time in the week to pause and reflect. It helps center them. Having the opportunity to put the week behind them helps them feel renewed. The music and the services act as a reset button, leading them to feel refreshed and calm. When they are praying, the other things seem to melt away. I, of course, also asked my husband, who spends a lot of time here as well, and he shared that temple is a place where we can go and not be judged and be free to express our Judaism, no matter how it may differ from the person next to us. And it's our obligation as Jews to continue the work that God started when God led us out of Egypt. Many people fought so hard, and I want the people that come after me to be able to experience Judaism too. Scott's response and all of the board responses were genuine and heartfelt. Through their eyes, they shared their why why they continue being active, why synagogue matters, why they opt in. And we heard things like community, continuity through the generations, sanctification of time, new perspectives, education and learning, self-improvement, and of course the relationship with God. Apparently, one doesn't have to be newish to Jewish to appreciate the beauty of our heritage. Judaism has survived for so many generations because others before us recognized its value. Can we see this as well? Are we willing to explore this together, to see Judaism through new eyes and ensure that it continues to inspire joy for the generations to come? This is going to take all of us, because we don't come to temple only for the programs and services. We come for each other and for that shared Jewish destiny. According to one of my own rabbis from Kansas City, Rabbi Mark Levin, who, by the way, thinks it's wonderful to write sermons even after he's retired, he says that community is continuity. I don't know that I'll do that. Yesterday, he shared, but in a sermon he shared yesterday on Facebook, he shared a reflection about this. And I was touched and inspired by his words so much that I wanted to share it with you. He wrote, "I wish I could tell you when you'll need your religious community, when it will really matter, when it will pay off for you. But I can't. Community is sustaining friendships through life's irreconcilable tragedies. Community is continuity. Community is rituals from the past that surprise us and sometimes make us cry when we never expected it. Community is the basis for support when we need it, both giving support and receiving support. Family alone can't do that. It is a funny thing about synagogue life. I go because you're there and might need me or miss me. If you're not there, why go? You want a Judaism for your children, for your grandchildren, for people you don't know and will never know. You want there to be Jewish values of social justice, of decency, of tzedakah in the community. You want someone to say Lashana Tova and Shabbat Shalom. You want there to be Torah study and Jewish love of learning and inquiry and debate and caring for the stranger. You want the flowers of Jewish culture. Then you need to plant the roots, because flowers don't grow without roots and stalks and leaves. Friends, there is great value, as we just heard, in being a part of our Jewish community. And we should be proud that we are able to be counted as members of it, to have a stake in our future. As we heard, it is good for our minds, it is good for our souls. But I don't just want you to buy in. I want you to build with me. Come and be a part of something greater than yourselves. Help us as a group to pay it forward, like our ancestors have done for us. Earlier this morning in our prayers, we thanked God for making us Jews. Whether this was by our family of origin or of our own choosing, we should be grateful for this opportunity. Join with me as we return to that place of wonder and appreciation, and once again see our heritage as the precious gift that it is. We are the ones to ensure that this blessing may be enjoyed for generations to come, that people continue to find our community socially, intellectually, and spiritually meaningful. Like the youth who planted our native garden in the courtyard, let us plant those seeds for their future. It too can be a native garden with deep roots to support it. Shana Tova. We turn now to page 286, and I'll ask you to please rise.
Leinu v'shabbat.